What makes a great team? Is it talent, leadership, or something deeper? Today we're diving into Overcoming the Five Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. This book is a practical guide for leaders, managers, and anyone who's part of a team. It lays out what holds teams back and, more importantly, how to fix it. So if you've ever worked in a team that struggled with trust, conflict, or accountability, stay tuned. This is the ultimate crash course to building a cohesive, high-performing team. Let's start with the basics. What are the five dysfunctions? The first dysfunction is the absence of trust. When team members don't trust each other, they hide their weaknesses. They won't ask for help or admit when they've made a mistake. Instead, they stay guarded, which kills collaboration. Trust is about vulnerability. It's the foundation of a strong team. Without it, nothing else works. Next up, fear of conflict. If there's no trust, people avoid conflict like the plague. You've probably seen this before. Teams pretend everything's fine when it's not. Real issues go unspoken and bad decisions pile up. But conflict, when handled right, is healthy. It helps teams tackle tough issues head-on and make better decisions. Now let's talk about the third dysfunction, lack of commitment. This happens when teams avoid conflict and decisions feel unclear or forced. People don't buy in. They nod along in meetings but aren't truly invested. Clarity and alignment are what drive commitment. Without them, you're stuck with half-hearted efforts. The fourth dysfunction is avoidance of accountability. If people aren't committed, they won't hold each other accountable. They'll avoid uncomfortable conversations and let poor performance slide. And guess what happens next? Mediocrity takes over. Teams that thrive are the ones where everyone steps up and holds one another to a high standard. Finally, we have inattention to results. This is when individual priorities, egos, or departmental goals overshadow the team's collective success. It's like a sports team where everyone plays for personal stats instead of the championship. When teams lose focus on results, they lose their edge. Now you might be thinking, great, these dysfunctions sound familiar, but how do we fix them? Don't worry, we're getting there. Let's start with trust, the foundation of any great team. Building trust takes intentionality. It doesn't happen overnight. One of the most effective ways to build trust is by encouraging vulnerability. This might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's essential. Leaders should go first. Share a mistake you've made, talk about a challenge you're facing, or admit when you don't have all the answers. This sets the tone for the rest of the team. Another powerful tool for building trust is the personal histories exercise. Have your team sit down and share something simple yet personal, like where they grew up or a challenge they faced early in life. You'd be surprised how these small moments can create empathy and break down barriers. You can also use personality profiles like DISC or the Myers-Briggs type indicator to help team members understand each other's communication styles and tendencies. When people know how their teammates think and act, they're more likely to trust their intentions. Next is embracing conflict, which is often misunderstood. Many people think conflict is inherently negative, but in reality, healthy conflict is a sign of a strong team. It's how you hash out ideas, address problems, and make better decisions. To foster healthy conflict, you need to normalize it. Start by creating a safe environment where disagreement is welcomed, not punished. Leaders should actively draw out differing opinions in meetings. If everyone is agreeing too quickly, ask, does anyone see it differently? Or, what are we missing? You can also try the role of a conflict miner. This person's job is to surface unspoken concerns or disagreements. If you notice tension or unresolved issues, don't sweep them under the rug. Address them head on, but always with respect and curiosity. And here's a key rule for conflict. Focus on attacking the problem, not the person. When your team debates with curiosity instead of defensiveness, that's when innovation happens. Once you've embraced conflict, you're ready to tackle commitment. Commitment is all about clarity and buy-in. Teams often struggle here because decisions are vague or people feel left out of the process. To fix this, clarity needs to become your team's best friend. At the end of every discussion, take a few minutes to summarize exactly what was decided, who's responsible for what, and when it needs to be done. Clarity eliminates ambiguity, which is the enemy of commitment. Another strategy is using cascading communication. Once a decision is made, make sure every team member can articulate it clearly to others. This ensures alignment both within and outside the team. If someone disagrees with a decision, let them voice their concerns, but emphasize that once the team decides, everyone must commit, even if they weren't fully on board initially. A powerful tool to drive commitment is the worst-case scenario exercise. Before finalizing a decision, ask the team, what's the worst thing that could happen if we go this route? Address those fears openly. Most of the time, the risks are smaller than they seem, and addressing them up front helps people feel more confident moving forward. Now let's dive into accountability, which is where many teams falter. Without accountability, even the best plans fall apart. And here's the kicker. Accountability isn't just the leader's responsibility. On a healthy team, everyone holds each other accountable. This starts with creating clear expectations. If everyone knows what's expected of them, it's much easier to call out missed deadlines or subpar work. One practical tip is to make commitments public. When someone commits to a task or goal, write it down where everyone can see it. This could be on a shared dashboard, a whiteboard in the office, or even just a team email recap. When commitments are visible, it creates natural peer pressure to follow through. Regular progress reviews are another great tool. These don't have to be formal. It could be as simple as a 5-minute check-in at the start of a meeting. Ask, what's the status of your commitment? Or, is there anything blocking your progress? These small moments of accountability add up over time, and don't shy away from uncomfortable conversations. If a team member isn't pulling their weight, address it directly but constructively. A great approach is to focus on the behavior, not the person. Instead of saying, like, you're not contributing, say, I've noticed you've been quiet in meetings lately. Is there something on your mind? This opens the door to dialogue rather than defensiveness. Finally, we have results. The ultimate measure of a team's success. High-performing teams stay laser-focused on collective results, not individual accolades. But let's be honest, this is easier said than done. Ego, personal goals, and departmental priorities often get in the way. To combat this, start by making your team's results visible. Use scoreboards, metrics, or visual dashboards to track progress. When everyone can see how the team is performing, it's a powerful motivator. But remember, it's not just about tracking results. You also need to celebrate them. When your team hits a major milestone, take the time to acknowledge it. This reinforces the importance of collective success. Another tip is to align individual rewards with team outcomes. If bonuses or recognition are tied solely to personal performance, it sends the wrong message. Shift the focus to team achievements. For example, reward the entire team when a big goal is met. This reinforces the idea that you're all in it together. And don't forget to revisit your team's vision regularly. It's easy to get lost in the day-to-day grind and lose sight of the bigger picture. Take time in meetings to remind the team why their work matters. Reconnect with the mission. When people see how their efforts contribute to something bigger, they stay motivated and focused. Now let's talk about the leader's role in all of this. As a leader, you set the tone for the team. Your actions speak louder than words. If you want trust, show vulnerability. If you want healthy conflict, encourage debate. If you want accountability, hold yourself to the same standards you expect from others. Leadership is about modeling the behaviors you want to see. But here's an important point. Leaders don't have to do this alone. Building a cohesive team is a shared responsibility. Empower your team to take ownership of these principles. Let them lead trust-building exercises, surface conflicts, and hold each other accountable. When the team owns the process, that's when real transformation happens. One final note, overcoming these dysfunctions isn't a one-and-done effort. Teams evolve and new challenges arise. That's why it's important to revisit these principles regularly. Make them part of your team's DNA. With consistent effort, you can create a team that not only performs at a high level, but also thrives together. If these ideas resonate with you and you want to explore them further, the link to overcoming the 5 dysfunctions of a team is in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and here's to building stronger, healthier, and more cohesive teams. See you next time.